The botting rumors are also officially squashed. It's a bad day to be a parasocial owl. It's a real nasty day to be one. The court disagrees to allege that UMG implemented covert practices to manipulate streams of Not Like Us and inflate the record's perceived popularity. Plaintiff relies on tweets. Oh my God, they're cooking you. This is what you get when you have your case, and one of the reasons you have a case is because academics. Acadiddy, this your fault too, nigga. The court finds plaintiff's reliance on online comments and reporting insufficient to meet the plausibility standard. She basically said, this nigga was using tweets. Wait a minute, you come to my court and random whistleblowers from Acadiddy? That nigga can't even keep his tweets because he a creep. The experience of no-name person from a small set of anonymous customer reviews does not meet much have the complaint. When you guys are trying this appeal, you got to know just how stupid this case looks, and Judge Vargas did a great job in showing you how stupid, so whoever you appeal this to, good luck, nigga. Basically, they're saying, hey, nigga, you can't just be using random Twitter bots for your evidence. You goofy goofball, nigga. Maybe you didn't know how American law works. I don't know if that works in Canada, where Exhibit A, this random nigga on Twitter.
At this point, Drake just gotta hang it up flat screen. Please, you lost the rap battle and you lost the court battle. LL Cool J is your new name. You lost the black way and the white way. Double homicide. The judge dismissed and basically threw out the case because she said that what Kendrick said is a non-actionable opinion. It's not defamation. And a non-actionable opinion is a statement that cannot be the basis for a defamation lawsuit because it does not assert a provable fact, but rather a subjective viewpoint even if it is offensive. These statements are generally protected under free speech principles. And I tried to tell y'all that, but y'all swore y'all was Olivia Pope and y'all really Olivia Nope. It's the way Kendrick said it. Say, Drake, I heard you like them young. He didn't say, hey, Drake likes them young. I heard you like them young. And then he said, trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor. He didn't say it is A minor. It's probably A minor. He's assuming that it is. Come on. And the judge said, this is a minor case, not major one. Get out of my courtroom. UNG stands for you must go, because why are you even suing over a rap beef anyways? That's not hip-hop, Aubrey Graham Cracker. And the crazy part is Drake made this worse than it had to be because all you have to do was take your L because you didn't do bad in the rap battle. You actually was doing good. Kendrick just outsmarted you. All you have to do was take your L and keep it moving. But no, you want to do all of this. And now look at you. Boo, tomato, tomato. And since you're October's very own, boo, pumpkin, pumpkin. Now, can we put this Drake versus Kendrick thing to rest? I'm tired of talking about it. Tired, exhausted, sleepy. Pull the lever.
You're suing because you asked him to call you a pedophile and he did?
No, I'm suing because it got popular.
He's a 69 God isn't illegal to say, and it goes so hard.
Monster on the beat, ho, beat, boat, beat, rap, nigga, he a freak, though.
Yeah, nigga, you got your ass whooped.
Well, if he didn't use bots, how'd the song become so huge?
Have you not heard it? Play it again.
No, we
Play
don't
it
have
again,
to.
damn it. Your lawyer said you have a good case. Can I talk to your lawyer?
Ovi helps.
Yeah, he's using you to buy a new pool.
We're gonna appeal the verdict.
And I guess a new house as well.
Oh, the lawyer getting in on it. A minor.
I'm fucking crying. Why is this law submitted in the American legal system? Why did you need it in legal documentation? You've been losing for a year and a half, nigga. I'm suing you for having listened to the Heart Part 6.
I was trying my
Well,
best.
you should have tried harder.
It was very
all around.
difficult. It is not that funny, Cody.
Well, obviously not from your perspective. Yeah, man, case dismissed. Get that nigga out of here.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Okay, I'm leaving. Yeah, that nigga dip. All right, run that shit back one more time.
Somebody better go check on Aubrey Graham. Somebody better go check on Aubrey Graham because his lawsuit against Universal Music Group over the song Not Like Us was just dismissed. The way this judge describes dismissing Drake's lawsuit is so embarrassing. He basically says, it was a rap battle and you lost. And all I can picture right now is Kendrick Lamar literally smiling like this when reading this judge's decision on why to dismiss this lawsuit. This case arises from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history, the vitriolic war of words that erupted between superstar recording artists Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with interestingly heated rhetoric, loaded with accusations, and violent imagery. The penultimate song of this feud, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphorical killing blow. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF file set to a catchy beat and bass line. I know dang well this judge did not just say, yeah, he called you a PDF file, but it was a catchy tune. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim. And this judge went on to say before dismissing this lawsuit that Kendrick calling Drake a PDF file was just his opinion, and it's not enough for a defamation lawsuit. At this point, I'm 110% convinced that this judge listened to Not Like Us and he honestly was rocking with it like we all were. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Yo, shout out to Caesar, man. Shout out to Caesar, man. Yo, I saw this nigga boy, big boy, shout out to my brother.
The longest losing streak in hip-hop history continues. Drake's lawsuit against UMG has been thrown out of court. The judge wrote, "The average listener is not under the impression that a diss track is the product of a thoughtful or disinterested investigation conveying to the public fact-checked, verifiable content. It has to be seen as part of the entire diss track war where both men were going back and forth saying hyperbolic shit about the other." She said because it's part of a diss track war, reasonable listeners will not interpret this song as some verifiable fact. This is the worst possible outcome for Drake. His suit was so poorly conceived, as soon as the judge looked at it, she dismissed it. Looks like a first round TKO. I have always felt like this suit was a wealthy man's temper tantrum and not a real legal conversation. If Drake had withdrawn the suit, it would have looked like he'd had a change of heart. He had thought better of this horrible decision. But no, his lawyers let him march into court, march into the public square with this doggy doo-doo piece of shit lawsuit, acting like this was a real legal question. This is embarrassing for him. I don't understand why his lawyers could not have seen this coming and advised him to withdraw the suit. You know, to like save face. Make no mistake, the lawsuit, including this ignominious ending to it, is far worse for this boy's image than that battle, than Not Like Us. The lawsuit is worse than Not Like Us. And Not Like Us was not good.
To all the OV hoes that was talking about Drake is playing 4D chess with this lawsuit. Drake is gonna be a billionaire after this lawsuit. He's gonna own all of Kendrick's masters. Do you not feel silly, bruh? Do you not feel dumb as hell? If you don't know, the whole lawsuit against UMG for boosting Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us track got fully dismissed in the court. Then federal judges said, get the hell out of here. Get this shit out of here, because it's obviously a diss track. You know what I'm saying? It's not defamatory. And like it was never gonna hold up, because it's like Drake told Kendrick to call him a child lover. You know what I'm saying? He goaded him. And also Drake was saying a whole bunch of crazy shit. He's been saying a whole bunch of crazy shit about other people. Not even just Kendrick over the years, over the past like what, decade? You know what I'm saying? He's an immature, emotional man, bruh. Ego super huge and fragile, which makes it even worse, bruh. And to all his fans that were riding hard as hell, how are you gonna pivot? How are you gonna move the goalposts? You know what I'm saying? Because when I said that him suing UMG makes no sense, and then him saying that this is defamatory in order for him to get like a better deal or a worse deal from them, it just makes no sense, bro, because he can literally do this shit on his own. He's Drake. He didn't need to do this shit. Even with the loss to Kendrick, he didn't need a deal from UMG in order to get his music out there. You know what I'm saying? It just makes no fucking sense, bro. It makes me so happy, because the precedent that would have been set in rap and hip-hop if this case went through, and like the legalization of rappers' lyrics in the court of law, would have been crazy if he would have won his case, bro. So it's big win for hip hop, big win for Kendrick Lamar, and for me, honestly, and all the people that are not Drake dick writers.
Hey, with that, sorry I can't for what I had to endure the last year in James. Did you guys, in hindsight, did y'all hear yourselves? Dead ass. He's gonna be a martyr and change the rest of the way that music business is done in the music business. Y'all said that and was dead ass about it.
Yeah.
Straight face. I was there. It was last year.
It wasn't even last year. It was a couple months ago.
My memory is not that bad. Like, how do y'all feel about yourselves now? Oh my God. See why you can't be a part of Think Tank? This is how you saying shit. He's gonna get his master's from this.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, that's the naive shit if you think they're giving up masters.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Anyways, what does this mean? What does this verdict mean for religious Drake?
I mean, obviously the appeal is going to drag it out for a little while longer. I don't know how much longer. Probably another 6 months, I would imagine.
Does that push the album back?
I don't think so.
Does anything about this verdict push the album back or push back plans for the album?
Hard to say without knowing whether he's still under terms with UMG. But I guess in their statement they said they want to continue.
They say that?
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily say that they have anything going forward. I don't know.
I mean, I think Drake's logic is if I win this case, I have leverage to maybe get away from the label deal.
Yes.
And so I think that would have dictated the album time. Now that he's stuck in, if he's doing the appeal because he thinks he can win it, as opposed to just saving face, I think I think that's going to determine whether the album plans change. Because I think I'm not convinced he thinks he can win this anymore. The way the judge threw it out. And what are you appealing it on?
That's why he shouldn't appeal.
That's what I'm saying, because you're not appealing, unless you're appealing on procedural grounds, like there's something wrong with the procedure itself, it's going to be very difficult to win this case. And every lawyer I've heard talk about this has said this is not a winnable case for Drake.
Appealing just because you have a legal team and you can afford it, it still doesn't make it. It makes it longer. Like it's just more embarrassing. You still like a bitch. It's just wrap it up.
Drake's defamation lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar got thrown out, but here's why. Not Like Us was and still is inescapable. But there was one line. I think you know which line I'm talking about.
Certified lover boy, certified. I'm on them tough.
That the defamation lawsuit really hinged on. And when Billboard first learned about this, we polled our experts. And what happened isn't far off from what they imagined. Attempting to hold a rapper or their producer liable for something like that is contradictory to basic defamation law. And in order to prove something like this, you have to believe that Kendrick Lamar is being serious. So when the judge ruled to dismiss the case, it really came back to the one simple principle: hyperbole rather than facts. Now, if you want to learn more, head to Billboard.com to check out the full story.
I think Drake has broken the record for someone who took the most L's over the longest period of time with the same situation. Speaking of defamation of character lawsuits, a judge ruled to dismiss the defamation of character lawsuit that Drake filed against UMG, Universal Music Group. The judge basically said that this was not something that people necessarily had to take as fact. It wasn't fact-based, it was a statement, and it could have been someone's opinion. It was also the context. They were in the midst of a rap battle. And let's not forget that Drake also took shots at Kendrick Lamar. And I even saw something in there about the freedom of artistic expression. All in all, it's embarrassing at this point. Now, let's not forget, Drake did not sue Kendrick Lamar directly for defamation of character. Instead, he sued UMG basically for allowing him to make the song, which Drake believes created a narrative about him and prevented him from doing certain things because of what Kendrick Lamar said. All in all, there's no room for this in rap. You know what I'm saying? Take the L and move on. The fact that this is still going on is pitiful.
I'll be honest, taking an L in a rap battle, you can work with that. Taking an L in court about a record from a rap battle, we're getting into some muddy waters. As somebody that likes Drake, let's really have a real candid, frank conversation about the news that Drake's defamation lawsuit against UMG in regards to Not Like Us has now been dismissed, right? there's a lot to discuss, and we'll do that in due time and go over the documents with the judge's opinion, things like that. But first thing I just want to read here is this statement, which I think summarizes why this motion to dismiss was granted. And the judge said, because the court concludes that the alleged defamatory statements in Not Like Us are non-actionable opinion, the motion to dismiss is granted. Now, I'm not an attorney and neither are you, so let's get a nice little AI overview here of the definition of non-actionable opinion, which is a statement of personal belief or judgment that cannot be the basis for a defamation lawsuit because it cannot be proven true or false, right? And you see the rest there. So where does this leave us? At the beginning of Drake's lawsuit, when I say, hey, you're going to be filing a lawsuit against $1 billion corporation, I want to hear what you got to say. I'm not going to immediately take the side of $1 billion corporation. As more things started coming out, I started letting you guys know. I started letting the Aubrey Angels and the Owls know, hey, I'm going to be a little reserved about this, and this is not my favorite thing. There are some things in here that's not adding up. But the biggest thing for me, not only with a question that that was presented by the judge to Drake's team that kind of was a red flag to me, and also that I noticed a lot of Drake fans and Drake stans, I should say, were ignoring, was when I said, hey, are we doing that thing where we're ignoring what Drake said about Kendrick Lamar, etc.? But we'll look into more of those files and see if that played a role here. But as you can see, what really played a role for Judge Vargas is the non-actionable opinion portion and dismissing that. So now here we are. Where does that leave Drake? You got the Iceman narrative, which, people were talking about Pinocchio's, etc., this, that, and the third. You can push that narrative and keep it going, right? But at the end of the day, you could have did that without the lawsuit, right? And hopefully now that the lawsuit is gone and out of the way, unless, Drake's team are going to file an appeal, which they probably will. It now leaves you in a space where you, at least hopefully, you can rap candidly, right? So there's that next piece. And finally, what it means for hip hop, right? At the end of the day, my allegiance to this thing is to hip hop itself. Is to hip hop. It is not to one artist. It is not to Jay-Z. It is not to Drake. It is not to Kendrick Lamar. And I will reiterate something that a lot of people have said, and I waited until, we get something like this, which is just a dismissal. And I do believe this is good news for hip hop. If two gentlemen are going to willingly get into a battle rap, if one gentleman is going to mudsling and talk about someone else's family, and the other person takes it further, everybody should be willing to live with the results of what happens. Now, at the end of the day, I wasn't too worried about rapping and battle rapping because I think at the end of the day, people can just put it on SoundCloud if the labels feel like they don't want to be, held liable for these things. But at least we know that even those individuals, if they release songs independently, wouldn't be scared of being sued because this is at least some kind of precedent. So we'll have more to talk about this. Y'all can comment. I will respond to a lot of your comments for the next 24 to 48 hours. Might even do a live about it. But that's what we have. Drake's lawsuit is dismissed, and we'll go from there. And one more piece. I don't know what this means for all the suppression, etc. Drake's still been dropping music with UMG. That's another thing that made me kind of look at this lawsuit a little interesting. At first, he was doing 100 gigs. This part is important. I said, oh, maybe there's real beef with the label. Then he was doing a joint project with Sony and UMG. I said, oh, okay, maybe. But then you start dropping music with UMG, but just talking about these suppression things. And I'm like, well, how do you trust the label that you're in court with? So clearly, business can still go on as usual. And UMG actually made a statement. Sorry, got to add this at the end. They did say this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We are pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. So looks like they'll keep investing in his career and they'll keep pushing. All right, let's go.
I couldn't fathom tarnishing my rap legacy over a defamation lawsuit that ended up being thrown out by the courts, because if you know hip-hop and its history, this has never happened before. Losing a rap beef and trying to sue someone, like, who the fuck does that? You're supposed to bow out, take your L gracefully, and move the fuck on, but Drake has some other intentions. And my thing is, Drake, even if you won this defamation lawsuit, you still lost the court of public opinion, so it wasn't going to change anything in the grand scheme of things. Like, deadass, since Drake's filed this defamation lawsuit, the amount of Drake I listen to has gone down tremendously. Even after Drake lost the beef, I was still listening to him because I am not the type of person, oh, you lost a rap beef? I am no longer going to listen to you. I still listen to Nas and Jay-Z to this day. If you could bow out gracefully or lose gracefully in a rap beef, I'm still going to listen and respect you. But the fact that you are trying to sue, do a defamation lawsuit, oh, they're attacking me, oh, this, that, and the other, Drake, it's hard to look at you seriously after that, especially when you have raps talking aggressive and talking about you on some mob shit, but then in reality, you on some suing shit. It's hard to take a nigga seriously after that. So I hope you learn your lesson from this. Maybe take a break from the world, make a better fire album or something, because I don't know what you're going to do. I don't see you recovering to getting back to the Drake that we knew after filing this, because it's pathetic to a lot of people. You have your stands that will always defend you, but like I said, to the court of public opinion, a lot of people will never not look at you as a bitch. So I hope it was worth it. Clearly it wasn't, because the case was thrown out. But yes, Drake's defamation lawsuit has been thrown out by the courts.
Drake just took a big legal loss against his own record label. Keep in mind, why would you even have an incentive to continue to drop music at this point? Like, you're contractually bound to. This is the worst situation I've ever seen in my life, honestly. For a musician, you take one of the biggest public losses that you can ever take. Afterwards, you say, you know what? I'm in denial. I'm gonna keep trying to do my thing, but you get tired of niggas bringing it up. You thought that the heat was gonna die down after maybe a week or two after the battle was over. It ended up becoming the song of the summer. Niggas listen to it crazy. It's everywhere you go. For some people, me personally, I didn't really see it or hear it like that much, but I do recognize its larger reach. You get annoyed and you like, you know what, man, fuck this nigga and fuck my label for even letting this shit go out there. I'm supposed to be the head honcho of this shit. They were supposed to protect me. Boom, lawsuit. And your fans is big, they bigging you up, they blowing your head up. Your fans are blowing your head up. Everybody that's on your side is blowing your head up and filling you up with these ideas that you actually have something here. That you can actually go to court with this and not be making a public fool out of yourself. So now you're taking 2, 3, 4 L's, all the information that's coming out, and then your fans think you actually got a leg to stand on. That's crazy. You gotta roll out. People like, okay, he might have lost the battle, but he might be winning the war. Maybe he gets some wiggle room in court. Maybe he at least gets a settlement offer from his label. Get some money out the deal. You know, at the very least, this whole thing could have at least given you some cash. You know what I'm saying? Walk away with something. Dismissed? Nothing? You've been dragging this for over a year after the L and you still don't get any progress. On top of that, you're still on your label, still in your deal, and you still owe them a project or two probably. I don't know how many projects he owes UMG at this point still. I have no idea.
Say, Drake. Just play. This case should have never seen the light of day. Now it's time to get your ass back in that studio. Everybody get ready for the No Days Off tour. Drake's gonna be doing a show every single day for 365 days. We're hitting every city, county. You've been taking a lot of time off, and I feel like it's about time for about 50 more tours. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're gonna need about 4 albums worth of songs tomorrow. I hope you've been recording, because we're gonna need to speed things up. This whole lawsuit has cost us a lot of money, Mr. Graham. I hope you're not doing nothing for the next 10 years, because you're gonna be on the road. If you would have just listened the first time when we told your ass not to do no lawsuit, we wouldn't have been in this problem. But don't worry about it.
You know what I'm saying? The streets is the streets. This is industry. Niggas want to bring their lawyers to motherfucking battles, man. Don't bring your lawyer, man. Bring your gat or bring your clique, man. Straight up. So it's a big difference.
You sound like you got some personal experience with it.
Personally, I got sued 3 times from bitch ass niggas. 3 times. They not ghetto celebrities, you telling. You're not a ghetto celebrity, you telling. Straight up. And then you know who you are. You sued me.
Thanks for riding the wave. More hits coming soon. Please subscribe, like, and share.